Did you know every single day over 1,200 violent crimes are reported across the UK? That's one attack every 70 seconds. Now here's the twist. London isn't even the most dangerous city anymore. In fact, some cities you'd never expect have skyrocketed to the top of the crime charts in 2025. Peaceful seaside towns, gritty northern hubs, cultural hotspots. They're not as safe as you think. So what happened? Why are these cities getting more dangerous? And are you living in one of them without even knowing it? From rising gang activity to shocking drug-related violence to places where the police can't keep up. This list is not just about numbers, it's about real people, real danger, and real consequences. Some cities on this list are famous for their nightlife, universities, and even family-friendly attractions. But beneath the surface, the crime wave is getting darker and deeper. In this countdown, we'll break down the 10 most dangerous cities in the UK right now, backed by the latest stats and crime data from 2025. So stay locked in, because the city that takes the #1 spot might just leave you speechless. Number 10, Manchester. Manchester, the buzzing heart of the North, known for its music, football, and culture. But behind the glamour and development lies a growing problem that's pushing this iconic city into the danger zone. According to the latest 2025 crime data, Manchester has recorded a sharp rise in violent incidents, especially in areas like Moss Side, Cheetham Hill, and Hume. Knife crimes, assaults, and drug-related violence are escalating at an alarming pace. In fact, Greater Manchester Police registered over 18,000 violent offences in just the first quarter of the year. So what's going wrong? Experts point to a mix of social inequality, youth gang recruitment, and limited police resources. The cost of living crisis has added fuel to the fire, pushing more vulnerable people into desperate situations. Even shopping areas and nightlife spots like Deansgate and the Northern Quarter are seeing spikes in pickpocketing and public assaults. In 2025, antisocial behaviour and public disorder surged, particularly after major sporting events. It's not uncommon now to hear residents express concern over safety, even in the daytime. Some businesses have started hiring private security to protect staff and customers. Adding to the tension is the growing influence of organized crime groups. These networks increasingly target younger teens for recruitment, leading to more volatile situations in schools and neighborhoods. Police efforts are often outpaced by the sheer volume and coordination of these gangs. But Manchester's danger isn't just in statistics, it's the unpredictability that makes people nervous. One street can feel safe, while the next might expose you to serious risk. Despite its reputation for regeneration and cultural revival, Manchester's reality in 2025 is complicated. The city is vibrant, but it's also volatile. And that's why it lands at number 10 on our list. If this is just number 10, what horrors lie ahead? Stick with us, the list is only getting more intense. Number 9. Birmingham. Birmingham, Britain's second largest city, bustling with energy, culture, and a young, diverse population. But beneath the surface of this urban powerhouse lies a dangerous undercurrent that's landed it in the number 9 spot on our list. 2025 has not been kind to Birmingham's crime statistics. Knife crime, especially among teenagers, has reached new highs. Areas like Handsworth, Aston, and Newtown have seen repeated incidents of stabbings, gang confrontations, and even daylight shootings. The West Midlands Police reported a staggering increase in youth violence, with school exclusions linked to gang activity becoming a frequent headline. The city's growing economic divide plays a major role. While parts of Birmingham have seen regeneration, others remain deeply deprived. In those areas, the lack of opportunity leaves many young people vulnerable to recruitment by criminal groups. Residential burglaries, car thefts, and drug trafficking have surged across districts. Despite more cameras and increased community policing, many residents still feel unsafe, especially at night. Reports also highlight a troubling rise in violent domestic incidents, often behind closed doors and underreported. And while Birmingham hosts major events and festivals, safety concerns are growing. Public transport hubs and busy shopping streets have become hotspots for theft and harassment, pushing many commuters to change their routines or avoid certain areas altogether. What's most alarming is how normalized this violence has become in some communities. Parents fear more for their children's safety than their own, and for good reason. Does this sound like your city? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want more hard-hitting insights like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Now, if Birmingham made it to number 9, wait till you see who's next. Number 8, Liverpool. Walk through Liverpool on a sunny afternoon and it feels alive. Music in the air, tourists snapping photos, students filling cafes. But peel back the charm and you'll find something else entirely. 2025 hasn't been gentle with this port city. Beneath its famous waterfront and historic streets, crime has tightened its grip. While petty theft and shoplifting have always lingered in the background, they've now exploded into something bolder. Gangs, once operating in the shadows, now move with alarming confidence. Turf disputes are spilling into public view, literally. Broad daylight brawls in Toxteth, drug raids in Everton, robberies in full view on busy streets. Locals talk about it all the time, but often in hushed tones. It's not that they're surprised, it's that they're exhausted. Statistically, violent crime has jumped. Police reports show a rise in aggravated assaults and knife-related injuries, but what's more unsettling is how normalized it's all become. People just walk past now. They look the other way. It's part of the backdrop. Then there's the youth problem. Teenagers are being pulled into gangs younger than ever. Some are barely out of primary school when they're handed burner phones and given orders. In Liverpool, the contrast is what gets you. A street filled with art and music one minute, flashing blue lights and shattered glass the next. And the younger crowd. They're caught in the middle, some pulled toward opportunity, others into danger. The line between the two has never felt thinner. Number 8 isn't about being the worst, it's about what's slipping through the cracks in a place that once felt untouchable. Liverpool is still alive, but now it's watching its back. Number 7. Nottingham. Once celebrated for its historic charm and bustling student scene, Nottingham is now drawing attention for far more troubling reasons. In 2025, the city finds itself grappling with a crime landscape that is increasingly difficult to contain. According to recent police records, Nottingham has seen a steady rise in violent offences, particularly in districts like St Anne's, Radford and Hyson Green. Youth-led violence has emerged as one of the city's most pressing challenges, with gang rivalries and revenge attacks becoming increasingly common. What's especially concerning is the spike in knife-related incidents, up nearly 14% from the previous year. Schools are reporting more security concerns, and educators are raising alarms about teenagers being drawn into criminal circles at an alarming rate. But the issue isn't isolated to youth crime. Residential burglary and drug-related arrests have also climbed, while confidence in local policing has dropped sharply. Several neighborhoods have seen local watch groups take matters into their own hands, organizing nightly patrols and community alerts. Analysts suggest that budget cuts in youth services and a backlog in court processing times have contributed to the city's downward spiral. With fewer interventions and longer delays in justice, offenders face fewer consequences, encouraging repeated behavior. Despite efforts to revitalize city centers and invest in public spaces, the sense of unease is difficult to ignore. Safety for many residents feels like a gamble, changing from block to block. Nottingham's rise on this list isn't driven by headlines or perception. It's driven by hard data and everyday experience. And in 2025, that experience is increasingly shaped by risk, instability, and a community desperate for real change. Number 6. London. You might expect London to top this list, but in 2025, it sits at number 6. That's not to say the capital is safe. In fact, it's the complexity of London's crime map that makes it so uniquely concerning. While violent crime across the UK has been rising, London has seen particular spikes in specific boroughs. Croydon, Westminster, Newham and Tower Hamlets continue to report some of the highest rates of knife attacks, gang violence and robberies. Croydon alone recorded over 3,000 violent incidents in just the first quarter. What sets London apart is the disparity. One area may feel like a secure, well-policed neighbourhood, just a few streets away from a hotbed of criminal activity. This unpredictability makes safety feel inconsistent, even within walking distance. Public transport, especially the underground late at night, remains a hotspot for theft and harassment. Smartphone snatching and bag thefts in central zones are still common, despite increased surveillance. Tourists are frequent targets, but locals aren't spared either. London's gang networks are also evolving. Police say many are no longer territorial. Instead, they operate through social media, orchestrating flash crimes and drug drops across boroughs in minutes. Still, London has seen some improvements in community-based initiatives and hotspot policing. These strategies have helped reduce repeat offences in certain zones, but they haven't changed the citywide picture. In 2025, London is a city of contrast. Grand landmarks and elite postcodes exist beside urgent 999 calls and rising sirens. And while it's not the most dangerous city in the UK, its scale and complexity make it one of the hardest to protect. Number 5. Sheffield. Sheffield isn't a name most people associate with danger. It's green, hilly, and known for its friendly vibe and tight-knit communities. But in 2025, the numbers tell a different story. The city has seen a disturbing rise in violent crime, placing it firmly at number 5 on this year's list. Local police have reported spikes in domestic abuse cases, assault, and drug-related offences, particularly in areas like Burngreave, Page Hall, and Parson Cross. One factor behind Sheffield's decline is the growing problem of substance abuse. Heroin and crack cocaine usage have surged over the past 2 years, contributing to a range of social issues. With that, gang-related activity has become more visible, especially in the form of turf wars and intimidation in public spaces. But unlike larger cities with sprawling gang networks, Sheffield's crime is more insidious. It's happening behind closed doors, inside apartment blocks, and in forgotten corners of council estates. Residents speak of a shift in atmosphere, a rise in tension, more police sirens at night, and a lingering sense that things just aren't as safe as they once were. Mental health services in Sheffield are also under pressure. Emergency calls related to mental health crises have doubled, and many frontline workers point to the link between untreated trauma, addiction, and crime. Despite this, Sheffield's problems often get overlooked. It doesn't have the media spotlight of London or Manchester. But for the people living here, the impact is real and growing. In 2025, Sheffield is no longer just the city of steel and students. It's a place reckoning with a quiet, relentless rise in crime that's become impossible to ignore. Number 4. Bradford. Bradford's place in the top 5 won't shock its residents. But the reasons why it's here are more complex than just crime numbers. In 2025, the city has become a flashpoint for violent incidents, with youth gang activity reaching critical levels. Areas like Manningham, Barker End, and Great Horton have reported sharp increases in knife crime, street fights, and armed robberies. Some nights, local police receive hundreds of emergency calls, many of them linked to feuds between rival groups. But it's not just gang violence. Bradford has one of the highest crime rates per 1,000 people in the UK. Reports show that burglaries, vehicle theft, and antisocial behaviour are all on the rise, with local businesses feeling the squeeze and homeowners investing in extra security just to sleep at night. Underfunded schools, overwhelmed social services, and long-standing economic hardships have created the perfect storm. Many young people feel disillusioned, with limited access to jobs, training, or even safe recreational spaces. It's a void that gangs are quick to fill, offering false promises and fast cash. Community leaders say they're doing what they can, running youth programs, setting up neighborhood patrols, but the scale of the problem keeps growing. Tensions between different cultural and ethnic groups have also flared, adding to the sense of instability. Yet amid all this, there's resilience. Locals are pushing back, organizing cleanup efforts, supporting victims, and working to restore pride in their neighborhoods. But they're running uphill. In 2025, Bradford is a city in conflict, not just with crime, but with the systems failing to protect its people. And as the numbers rise, so does the urgency for change. Number 3. Leeds. Leeds has long been viewed as a city on the rise, a business hub, a student magnet, a place of opportunity. But in 2025, the city is facing a very different kind of reputation, one shaped by rising violence and deeply rooted criminal networks. Recent reports show a significant surge in gang-related crimes. Unlike smaller networks in other cities, Leeds is dealing with organized groups operating across multiple postcodes. These gangs are involved in drug distribution, weapons trafficking, and coordinated assaults, extending beyond traditional hotspots like Hare Hills, Chapeltown, and Beeston. What's especially troubling is the spread. Crimes once confined to certain areas are now reaching suburban and commercial zones. Armed robberies in business parks, assaults outside pubs in quiet neighborhoods. No part of the city feels fully insulated. Schools and colleges are also feeling the pressure. Youth workers say grooming and coercion are becoming more sophisticated, with older gang members using social media to recruit teens. Some are pulled in by peer pressure, others by desperation. Domestic violence and hate crimes are climbing too, placing further strain on emergency services. And while Leeds has invested in regeneration and public spaces, many feel the benefits haven't reached the communities most at risk. Police visibility has increased, but some residents say it's too little, too late. Trust in law enforcement varies across neighborhoods, and that inconsistency is being exploited. Leeds in 2025 is a city in conflict, modern on the surface, but battling deep-rooted danger underneath. Its place at number 3 isn't just a statistic, it's a reflection of how quickly safety can slip away, even in a city built for growth. Number 2. Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough is no stranger to hardship, but in 2025, it's not just struggling, it's drowning. The town now ranks second on the list of most dangerous places in the UK. The data is staggering. Violent crime, sexual offences, drug arrests, and antisocial behaviour all surged in the past year. Cleveland police reported more than double the national average for violent crimes, making Middlesbrough one of the worst-hit areas per capita. Walk through the centre after dark, and you'll feel it. Shuttered shops, rising homelessness, and a lingering sense that the streets aren't safe anymore. Locals talk about hearing sirens almost every night. Some have stopped going out after sunset, while others double-lock doors and watch through curtains. One of the biggest issues is the town's deep economic divide. Middlesbrough has some of the highest poverty rates in the country, and with that comes a cycle of addiction, mental illness, and desperation. Substance abuse has exploded, with heroin and synthetic drugs like spice becoming disturbingly common. Children are growing up surrounded by instability and fear. The police are under pressure, stretched too thin to deal with the scale of the crisis. Response times have worsened. Trust between residents and authorities has eroded. Community leaders call it a perfect storm of systemic failure, social neglect, and growing fear. Even the most resilient residents say this feels different, worse than before. And while efforts are being made to revive the area, many feel it's too little, too late. Middlesbrough is a town on edge, not just because of crime, but because of the hopelessness it breeds. And that makes it not just dangerous, but deeply wounded. Number 1. Blackpool. When most people think of Blackpool, they picture the bright lights of the promenade, the laughter of amusement arcades, and families enjoying fish and chips by the sea. But in 2025, Blackpool is making headlines for a very different reason. It's now the most dangerous city in the UK. Beneath the tourist glitter lies a town facing deep and devastating issues. Crime rates have surged across nearly every category. Violent assaults, burglaries, drug offences, and antisocial behaviour have all reached record highs. Some streets are considered no-go zones after dark, even by police. Blackpool's drug problem is particularly severe. Heroin, crack, and synthetic substances like spice are readily available and tragically visible. Addiction has led to a spike in theft, homelessness, and violence, especially in rundown parts of the town that tourists rarely see. Locals say the community has changed. There's a growing fear of walking alone, even during the day. Emergency services are overwhelmed, and many crimes go unreported because residents feel nothing will change. The sense of abandonment is palpable. Worse still is the impact on children and families. Blackpool has some of the highest rates of child poverty and neglect in the country. In many cases, young people are exposed to crime not just on the streets, but at home. Schools are stretched thin, and support services have been slashed. What makes Blackpool's story so shocking is the contrast. a place built for joy, now struggling under the weight of its own decline. In 2025, Blackpool is a city of extremes. Tourists come and go. But for those who live here, the danger is real, and it never takes a holiday. Before you go, was your city on the list, or did one surprise you? Drop your thoughts in the comments, we read every single one. And if you found this eye-opening, check out our last video. It dives even deeper into the UK's hidden crime patterns. These videos take a lot of time and research, so if you want to support what we do, hit that subscribe button. It's just one click, but it means everything to us. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there.